Thanks, comrades. This story will take a minute or two to tell, but hopefully it'll be of interest. We'll start with a wee bit of background. Grenfell Tower in the centre of London is a 24 high-storey, high-rise building. We'll get plenty of those in Glasgow, so we'll be well versed with them in certain throughout Scotland. It's in South Kensington. It was built in 1974, as many of the high-rises were built in the 60s and 70s. And it's 67 metres tall, so that gives it the 24 stories, 129 one and two bedroom flats, and it houses 600 people. So a lot of people in there, okay? So, to the incident itself, and it happened in the early hours of Wednesday the 14th of June 2007. The firefighters in London Fire Brigade were mobilised to an incident in the towers, and it was in flat 16 on the 4th floor of the building, where the resident was awoken by a smoke alarm, and when he entered the kitchen he noticed there was smoke issuing from the fridge freezer, and this was about 10 to 1 in the morning. So he alerted his lodgers and a couple of the neighbouring houses on that floor, and the fire service were eventually called at 12:54, so just before 1 o'clock, and indeed the first two appliances arrived 6 minutes later, so bang on 1 o'clock they arrived at the incident. And when they arrived, the incident commander noticed that they could see the glow of the flames coming from the window on the 4th floor, so as per the normal procedures, he had called for a further 2 fire appliances to be mobilised to the incident. Now, in line with the service's long-standing stay put policy, which I'll explain in a minute, for high-rise buildings, the residents who subsequently called the fire service were told by the control operators to remain in their flat unless otherwise directed by the firefighters on the scene. So I'm going to pause at that point because it's important that before we get any further understand what I'm talking about. Right? Firefighters follow national standards, okay? They're called standing operating procedures, SOPs, as we refer to them, right? Standing operating procedures. And they're written to tackle fires in buildings, but buildings that are regulated by national standards, okay? Now you might think that fire's unpredictable. It's not. Fire's very, very predictable, and it develops in a very specific way under certain predictable conditions, right? And that depends on the fuel, the air, and indeed the environment. So the standard operating procedures are written incorporating how fire behaves and how it develops, and how within any given building that's designed under proper national standards. Okay, so based on those two elements, you can develop procedures that are going to be able to effectively extinguish a fire. Okay. Now, you can put additional facilities into buildings, whether that be like sprinkler systems, smoke detection, smoke stop doors, emergency lighting, etc. And many of your workplaces will have these things. In fact, this building will have them, as well as signage for means of escape. Now, in the case of multi-storey flats are based on compartmentation. What that basically means is it's a whole series of concrete boxes in the multi-storey flat. Each concrete box is a compartment which holds a flat. Okay? Now these concrete flats, or cubes should we say, they don't burn, right, and they contain fire very, very well. The only weak spots in that compartment is the doors and the windows, but they're designed to national standards and should be fitted to national regulated standard. So the greatest risk to occupants therefore in a multi-storey flat is going to be the smoke in the common areas, in the floors and in the stairwells. That's the reason why the fire service tells the residents to stay put. If you stay in your flat, even if the fire's raging in the house next door, if your windows are proper and your doors are proper and they're closed, you're perfectly safe. And in fact, I've been to many fires over the years where there's been a major fire in a multi-storey flat in the middle of the night and the other residents knew nothing about it till they got up the next morning. Right? That's the national standards that we're talking about. Okay? Now, moving on to the incident again. So as per the operating procedures, the initial firefighters moved to the second floor. The setup is called a bridgehead, so it's a place of operations within the building to start the operations, to start the tank of fire. Okay. So at 1:07, they get into flat 16. So 6 minutes after they arrive, the man said up there into flat 16. and approximately as the fire had breached the kitchen window, it very quickly set fire to the surrounding cladding panels within that window area. It was observed outside by the incident commander at 1:13, and he asked for another further couple of appliances and an aerial, so we're up to 6 in an aerial at this point. We're only there for 10 minutes. This then triggers different processes, so you've got a load of different senior officers then alerted, and other specialist appliances, command vehicles, etc. So it starts to become a big incident. So by the time the firefighters began extinguishing the fire in the kitchen, there was a column of flames already working its way up the outside of the building, which should never ever happen. So at 1:15, the firefighters discovered smoke in the flat above, flat 16, that's flat 26, and discovered that the residents who had fled the smoke on the 5th and 6th floor, large quantities of debris started to fall from the facade of the building. So the flames that were then spread, what was described as at a terrifying rate. Attempts to fight the fire with an external jet were unsuccessful, and as it was mostly done behind a waterproof rain screen. So by 1:30, so we're half an hour into the incident, a rising column of flames had reached the roof of the building. The fire on the eastern exterior spread sideways and brought the smoke and flames into multiple flats. At 1:18, 34 of the 293 residents had escaped. The busiest phase of evacuation was a 10-minute period, or 20-minute period between 1:18 and 1:38, when 110 people escaped, many being woken up with smoke alarms, etc. Interestingly, at that time of year, it was Ramadan, and many of the Muslims who were the residents who were awake for the pre-dawn enabled them to alert a lot of the neighbours, and that saved a lot of lives. They managed to enable a lot of people to escape. At 1:19, the number of appliances were increased to 8, with various other specialist appliances, bulk breathing apparatus, fire rescue equipment, a whole range of things. 8 minutes later it went to 10, and 2 minutes after that it went to 20. So by 1:35 it was increased again to 25 appliances. Okay, so 35 minutes into the incident, we've got 25 appliances with 4 or 5 firefighters in each appliance. So we're into hundreds of people now at the incident, as well as police and ambulance. So, due to the fire doors in the place not sealing properly, smoke began to spread, and it started to affect the lobbies. Now, bear in mind, there was only one staircase in the whole building that was actually operated, was accessible. By 1:33, we were receiving calls for residents who were reported trapped in the flats, and at some point between 1:30 and 22, the smoke spread to the stairwell, making it almost impossible for residents to escape without the assistance of firefighters. By 1:58, a further 48 people were rescued. More than half of those were still trapped and ended up perished. The fire continues to spread sideways in the exterior, and by 1:42, it reached the north side of the building. Communications proved to be extremely difficult due to the noise levels, and having experienced that when you're doing your handheld radios, when you start getting into multi-storey flats of up 10, 15 floors, the communication becomes really, really difficult. At the bridgehead in the second floor, incoming firefighters were assigned flats to go and search. They were donned at breathing apparatus and headed to the flat for the residents. There was thick smoke, zero visibility and extreme heat above the 4th floor. So bear in mind the 4th floor was the source of the initial fire. Some residents had moved location, so where they were initially reported to be, when they arrived there they were gone. And one example of that is 3 firefighters went to rescue a 12-year-old girl on the 20th floor. They couldn't find her. But unknown to them, she'd moved to the 23rd floor. She happened to be on the phone to a control operator, but who had no idea what the firefighter was doing at the scene. And unfortunately, she later died at that location. Another 2 firefighters were sent to the flat on the 14th floor, with reportedly a single resident was in there. When they arrived, they found 8 people in there, 4 of them were already dead. So, 4 minutes past 2, so we're just about an hour after the incident started, we declared a major incident, and the amount of appliances at the scene were then requested to go to 40. Witnesses reported seeing people trapped inside the building, They were switching lights on and off in the flats to try and gain their attention. Some of them holding children up to the window. Eyewitnesses reported seeing some people jumping out, and 4 victims were found later to have injuries consistent with falling from a height. At least one person used knotted hankies to make a rope and escape the building. Frequent explosions were heard that were reported to be from gas lines within the building. Outside operations were hindered by fallen debris, including burning pieces of cladding. The NPS territorial support was present, and besides being a specialist unit for public order policing, they ended up actually providing the shields to protect the firefighters from burning debris when they came into the building. So, over the course of the operation, 250 firefighters attempted to control the blaze, with more than 100 firefighters in the building at any one time. Even the Commissioner for London Fire Brigade, Danny Cotton, admitted that they'd broken their own safety protocols by entering the large building without knowing whether it was in danger of structural collapse, but the firefighters were in anyway. It wasn't until the following afternoon that structural engineers were able to assess that it was actually not in danger of collapse, but for that 24 hours, that was unclear. By sunrise, the firefighters were busy fighting fire, attempting rescues on the inside. The last resident to be rescued was 8:07 in the morning, 7 hours after the fire broke out. By the end of the incident, 72 lives were lost, including those 2 victims who later died in hospital. More than 70 others were injured, and 223 people were either rescued or escaped. It was the deadliest structural fire in the UK since Piper Alpha in '88, and it was the worst UK residential fire since the Second World War. So, in the aftermath of the incident, the subsequent fire investigation found that the cladding that had been fitted to the building during the recent refurbishment didn't meet building regulations. Not only were the materials made from a substandard material, but the cladding was also inappropriately fitted, and it allowed an air gap between the cladding and the building, and this facilitated a chimney effect, which allowed rapid fire spread in the building. And the other thing, for those that live in multi-stories, you'll know this, that the wind that swirls around a building is incredible, and that would just accelerate the fire spread. The fire safety laws changed in 2000, or in the early 2000s, and it took much of the control, the monitoring and the inspection regimes away from fire and rescue services. It also watered down a lot of the fire legislation itself. And this has allowed standards to slip right across the board. It's remained unchecked in many ways, and ultimately this is what led to the Grenfell tragedy. Now, what you might not know is that the refurbishment of the building took place not at the request of the residents, but on the more affluent residents in Kensington and Chelsea who lived a mile or so down the road, who were complaining that the tower was an eyesore. So, at their request, the council decided to try and make it a bit more aesthetic for the more richer residents. But the refurbishment was done in the cheap. Proper cladding that met the proper fire regulations would only have cost a matter of thousands of pounds more, literally. But the council chose to take the cheap option. And to add insult to injury, only a few months after the tragedy happened, these affluent residents received a tax rebate from the council of £100 each, totalling much more than the money it would cost to get the better cladding, because they boasted that they'd managed to manage the public finances and rewarding their affluent constituents. The Grenfell Action Group came into being 12 years ago, not after the incident, 12 years before it, because they were raising safety concerns back then. Such concerns included poor and defective emergency lighting, defective fire doors, inadequate means of escape, blocked corridors, out-of-date fire extinguishers, lack of sprinklers, and a general neglect of the building's fire safety maintenance. In June 2016, an independent assessor had highlighted 40 serious issues with the safety of Grenfell Tower and recommended action to be taken within weeks. By October that year, the assessor asked Kensington and Chelsea Tenant Management Organisation, which is an organisation which is created as an arm's length company from the council, why they had taken no action on more than 20 of those issues in the June report. By November, the London Fire and Emergency Planning Authority served a deficiency notice on the council for failing to do the required action. And this still hadn't been done by May 2017. Areas of concern identified included the standard of the cladding being fitted on the building. None of these issues were eventually resolved. None. In September 2017, a public inquiry was ordered. As Tommy mentioned a minute ago, the first phase report for that inquiry was published a few weeks ago, on the 30th of October, and inexplicably laid the blame for the tragedy of the firefighters, which is absolutely contemptible, as well as an insult to the firefighters, not only who acted very bravely that night, but all the firefighters who risk their lives every day. They are not to blame for this tragedy. It wasn't the firefighters who wrapped the building in flammable cladding. Real culprits are those who rode their coaching horses through the UK's fire safety regime. They ignored the warnings from previous fires, and they completely ignored the pleas from the communities who were worried about their safety. Long before firefighters attended that incident, the building was already a death trap. There's no mention in the report of the devastating cuts that took place in London Fire Service over the last 10 years. When Boris Johnson was the Mayor of London, he closed 10 fire stations, he removed 27 fire appliances, he got rid of 552 frontline firefighters, as well as 324 support staff posts. Firefighters told him at the time that more lives would be lost as a consequence of these cuts, but he ignored them, and subsequently fire deaths in London have risen by 40%. Despite this, he's not been blamed for the fears of Grenfell tragedy. Instead, he sits back and allows that blame to be aimed at firefighters. So, who specifically are to blame for the Grenfell tragedy? Well, it was people who made the decision to wrap Grenfell in flammable cladding. It was the people who made the cladding. Now, this cladding, the ignition of the polythene within the cladding panel, now this is important, because bear in mind this has accelerated the fire. The polythene produced a flame reaction that's quicker than dropping a match into petrol. And yet it was deemed as being appropriate to put on this fire resistance on a building. Contractors who left gaps around the windows, they decided to plug those gaps with a material derived from crude oil, which produced the perfect medium for fire spread around the window. Now remember what I said, the fire started in a fridge freezer, right at the window, the crude oil based material caught fire, and that allowed the fire to spread into the cladding. Exovia is a company, they're a fire safety consultants, and they were used in the refurbishment, and they were the ones who advised that there would be no adverse effect on fire spread as a result of the cladding. There's insulation manufacturer Celotex who assisted in the production of the cladding. CEP are a subcontractor who bought and fabricated the cladding panels. Rydon, and I'm going to come back to them, Rydon, the main design and building contractor, who are now claiming that we're not responsible for the decisions related to the cladding. And Kensington and Chelsea, London Borough Council, who investigated and oversaw the whole refurbishment. These parties all have a collective responsibility. They all failed the people of Grenfell Tower. Now that night, firefighters faced an unprecedented incident. All their knowledge, their skills, their experience was called upon to try and deal with this unique and deadly circumstances that they faced. The risk to their own lives was high, and it was so high that they actually, before they went in, they began to write their names on their helmets, because they were pretty sure that they weren't going to come back out, and they needed to do that to make sure they were identified. But they still weren't. Now, I don't know if any of you seen the news last night or this morning, There was a fire in Bolton, in a student accommodation, and it's in a place called Bradshaw Gate. They happened at 8:30 last night, and thankfully they get out. But witnesses were saying that the fire was climbing up the outside of the wall on the 6-storey building. It engulfed the building from the outside. This is witness statements from last night. In the Bolton News, on the 28th of June 2017, just after Grenfell, they reported that the council had inspected the cladding in that building and were happy, quote, "were happy that the building was perfectly safe." Well, it clearly wasn't. Matt Rack, who's the General Secretary of the FBU, he's quoted this morning, "It's deeply troubling to see fire spread rapidly up a building's exterior again, a shocking indictment of the government's shameful inaction after Grenfell. This is not how any building should react to a fire in the 21st century, let alone a building in which people live. We need to end the deregulation agenda and the disastrous cuts to our fire and rescue services. It's time for a complete overhaul of UK fire safety before it's too late." I think we'll concur with that. Matt spoke at the Durham Miners Gala a couple of months after Grenfell, and he gave quite an emotional speech at that. And I just want to make this one quick quote, and then I'm nearly finished here. I'm sorry for taking so much time. He said, "I'll say this about firefighters. They're also workers, and they're also members of a trade union. And almost to a man and a woman, the people going into that building were members of the Fire Brigade Union. So the next time the press turn on us, take a moment and look at the pictures of those firefighters queuing up in their breathing apparatus to enter that inferno, and remind them that's what trade unionists look like." Now, as I've said, firefighters are not the root of this tragedy. Politics, greed, and a complete disregard for the safety and well-being of residents in Grenfell, who constituted the poorest and the most vulnerable members of the community. That's what it's about, all of it. We saw just a couple of weeks ago the true faces of the Tories with regard to Grenfell, when Jacob Rees-Mogg stated the residents of Grenfell Tower lacked common sense and weren't smart enough to escape the fire, and suggested that they should have ignored the advice of the fire service, as he would have done. Andrew Brixton went on to support those comments by saying that Rees-Mogg would have been too clever to die in the Grenfell fire. Well, I'd like to put that to the test. I think there should be a scientific test of Etonian MPs, their superior ability to escape a burning tower block, and I'm sure firefighters around the country would love to see that as well. Of course, the mainstream media, when they report this, they describe these comments as a gaffe. It wasn't a gaffe, it wasn't a mistake, it wasn't a slip of the tongue, he meant every word. And to add insult to injury, the Tory government recently announced that Rydon, remember I mentioned Rydon a minute ago? The main contractor who reclad the tower have just recently been placed on the official list of firms recommended to build high-rise building as part of a 7-year, £30 billion construction framework project. That's how much these people don't care. And worst of all, despite the obvious causes of the fire, absolutely nothing has been done by the Tory government in the last 29 months to address any of the issues. Nothing. And after 29 months, no one has been prosecuted. No one. This just goes to show you how much they care. So it makes it all the more important that firefighters are not made the scapegoats of this political corruption and this political failure. The truth of this tragedy is there for us all to see. It must be officially recognised and the issues properly addressed. Otherwise, we're going to see more tragedies at Grenfell and more lives are going to need to be lost. Thanks, God.